news. His health is failing. Woo! Woo! One time I got into it with a Trumper. The funeral, there better be fireworks like at Charlie Kirk's. Oh my gosh, wait, here, do you want to hear my dream last night? So I had a dream last night that they made, like, a Star Wars movie, and Rey and Kylo Ren were married, and they had kids, but then, like, Rey went evil. It was kind of heat, and it was really meaningful and impactful to me. Like, the Reylo impact is so unreal. Like, they've done a lot for women, and I had been saying that. Like, oh my god, the way I got dogged on in high school for liking Reylo, that's so toxic. That's so toxic. You're so weird for liking that. They literally hate each other. It's abusive. Well, look what's permeating the culture now. Their love story repackaged and resold in worse versions through TikTok books, okay? That's the future now, and I called it. I said this shit was heat, even though I was like, those books suck. I don't need to reread it when they're different characters. I actually read it was in fan fiction form, and that was peak. So I don't need it to be when they're, I'll read it as it is. I read the ancient text. I don't need to read the Reylo fan fictions that were turned into books, because I read them as the original, in its original iteration. I read the ancient text. If I read the ancient text, why would I want to read, like, if you could read the Bible, okay, in its original form, the first Bible ever, if you could read the Bible, like, you could read it in that language, wouldn't you rather read the Bible that way than, like, the King James version, the Donald Trump Bible? Yeah. I'd rather read the original Bible, because I know the original intention behind it. I'm getting called. I've read the ancient text. Dog, I've read the ancient text, okay? I don't need to reread it. That doesn't even make any sense. So no, I haven't read them now that they're, like, I can have physical, like, I don't care about having a physical copy of it. I read it the way God intended, through AO3, okay? Through the AO3 tab. I don't need to reread it. Reylo's really near and dear to my heart, and someday I'll finish my Reylo fanfiction. If you guys don't know, I have a Reylo fanfiction. It's called The Legacy of Skywalker, in parentheses, 50 Shades of Rey. I really cooked, and I looked up, there was no other fanfiction called 50 Shades of Rey. Y'all bugged by letting me cop that one. So that's on AO3, guys, and you should look it up. And is it finished? No. Am I ever gonna finish it? Surely someday. There was a little fly on me, a little gnat that was scary. It watched me beat the life out of him, poor guy. Rip. He was a gnat, so he probably only would have lived like 7 more hours anyways, so... yeah, that's the life of a gnat. Anyways, me when I have empathy for the gnat, fuck! God damn it! Can't I just have empathy for everything? Ugh! Fuck! It's the worst! Oh my god. I'll finish the fanfiction someday, but, not anytime soon. But someday. And it'll be the greatest piece of Star Wars media ever. Dude, they're adding Star Wars to creative mode on Fortnite. I'm gonna know about that. Let's just say I'm gonna know about that. Let's not deep dive on that. Anyways. Let's start with the good news for the week. You know, we like to be positive on this channel, okay? The good news for the week is that, it's being projected that by November, the Democrats are going to regain the House, okay? Now, I'm not saying there's not going to be fuckery in between now and then. Certainly, Donald Trump is going to he will do some fuck shit to try to be like, he's no stranger to saying elections have been stolen. I fully expect that. When that happens, don't let it surprise you. That's going to happen, guys. Just accept it now and know that we're going to have to combat it. It is what it is. But he is fighting that hard, and he's going to be putting up a pissing match because the Democrats are going to regain the House. And he's fighting against an uphill battle right now in that regard, and that while that's going to happen, it's going to be scary, and it's going to be stressful. We're going to get through it, okay? And on top of that, his approval rating since the beginning of the year, it's dropped 18%. Negative 18% approval rating. And out of the Republican base, he only has a 39% approval rating amongst Republicans. That's some good shit. That's really good. That feels really good. I'm not really, obviously I'm happy that his approval rating is so low. Didn't know why we couldn't get here sooner. That was fucking crazy. The rest of you dumb fucks got here eventually. For fuck's sake. Oh my god. I'm glad you finally fucking figured it out. You just figured out Donald Trump was the bad guy. Wow! Congratulations, Sherlock fucking Holmes, for finally solving the case. You did it! Let's give you an award. That's what Republicans, there's so many Republicans who are finally figuring out Trump's bad. It's like they want to be rewarded for, like, leaving MAGA. No! I'm not rewarding you. Now you just did the right thing. You did the bare minimum. You held out for as long as you could to being a shitty person. Until horrors beyond the imagination. Until you were confronted by horrors beyond your imagination, you couldn't understand that he was a bad person. And you don't get a fucking pat on the head for that. Like, I'm glad you're here. Welcome. Hope you stick around, but if you're gonna, this is why they can't stick around, because these fucking people cannot take constructive criticism. Like, it's fucking exhausting. Sorry, we're trying to be positive. Anyways, some of the losers are jumping ship. So, I'm gonna be interested to watch them learn to swim. Like the fucking rest of us. Okay? That'll be interesting. Also, where am I getting this from? I'm getting a lot of these headlines from The Economist. I was like, I need to start citing my sources. But also in general, I'm not sponsored, but I wish I had a sponsorship. But you should sponsor me, the thing I'm going to talk about. The news app that I use is called Ground News. I really would just recommend it. They should sponsor me. Guys, come on, Ground News. Sponsor me. Sponsor me. I know you do sponsorships, because that's how I found you, is through a different podcast of sponsorship, so... But they really are great. I hate to do a free ad, but they really are fucking great. Basically, it gives you, they kind of give you a headline, and then inside of that headline, they give you all the different viewpoints on it. Like, they kind of give you a very, blank headline, which tries to, not sway one way, or, not, moderately, but just, as plain as, a very plain headline. And then in it, it shows you all the different news outlets that are covering it, what percentages are covering it, Democrats, moderates, Republicans. I think they have some international sometimes. Not as much, though. And it just gives you how all the different news outlets are covering it, and then you can kind of choose the articles you want to read. It's great. So I get my news from them. And you guys should sponsor me. Me, when I need to set up an email so you can contact me about a sponsorship. I'll make a website eventually. It'll happen. That has to be in the works. Anyways, not my to-do list. Right, so Trump, his approval rating, womp womp, womp womp, womp. That's good news. That's good news. And then also, guys, his health is so bad. Me when I'm like, good news, his health is failing! Woo! Woo! One time I got into it with a Trumper, and this is when, he did his little propaganda ear pad on the ear moment, you know, his little I'm sorry, if you thought that he was pew-pewed at, for realsies, no. I'm not, a conspiracy theorist, not really, but, if you really look into the facts of that whole fucking situation, the believability of, him getting, Fortnite slimed, the attempted Fortnite sliming of DJT, okay? To have me believe the things that would have had to have happened for that situation to be plausible, I just don't find them very likely. But it's, so, anyways, I got into an argument once with a girl about that, and she was like, that's a human being. She was like, how could, because I was like, it was kind of funny when he almost got Fortnite slimed. I was like, that was kind of awesome. And then, oh my god, I can't say that on the internet because people... I thought that shouldn't have happened. I thought that was wrong and bad. But it didn't happen because it was never going to happen. Because, not to be conspiracy theorists, but like, I really think the facts for the likelihood of that situation really being real and organic, not very real. Not very likely. But so I was in an argument with this Republican girl, and she was like, that's a human life. How could you say that about a human being? And I was like, do you know how stupid you sound? Do you know how, to try to even conceptualize that Donald Trump is a human being? Dude, like, and I'm not being a conspiracy theorist in the sense of, like, what I'm about to say, I guess, is not literal. I know I just was, like, I'm not a conspiracy theorist, and then I was about to be like, he's a robot. I don't think he's literally a robot, but, like, he's a sociopath. Like, he has, the amount of people I had this argument during Brad's summer, okay? So it was a rough time for me, because I hated that fucking album. It was Brad's summer, and it was the worst presidential election of my life. First of all, why that even was happening and how we're here today. Anyways, but I was like, the amount of people this man killed during COVID, were those human lives, like, they're just so dumb. It was really a dumb statement to sit there and be like, you think that's funny that happened to a human being? And then I'm like, bitch, you don't give a fuck about what's happening in Gaza. You don't give a fuck what's happening to, like, the black community. And then you want to talk about you care about the inherent value of human life. You don't care that children are being shot in schools. You don't care about... The only lives you care about are dear leaders and all the souls of the aborted babies. Oh, may the Lord and Jesus Christ above embrace them into their arms when they reach him. Jesus Christ hugging air, because when the fetus is aborted, it's microscopic. Y'all about to piss me off. Then I'm gonna get on my box. Fucking hell. So, that's all to say, woo, failing health. And again, like, same people who were like, it's like when Queen Elizabeth died and they were like, she was too young. That's how people are gonna act when DJT rolls over. They're gonna be like, he was a young man, he was the youngest president we'd ever had. They'll just completely, that obituary is gonna be some bullshit, dog. That obituary is gonna be a full comedy, like, skit. I should do a bit. Like, I should become a comedian right now, and that'll be my skit. I'm gonna do a whole bit number on how, like, what his obituary is gonna sound like. I'm like, I guess I can workshop this with you guys right now. Like, it's the funeral. There better be fireworks like at Charlie Kirk's. Like, if there was a fireworks show for Charlie Kirk's funeral, like, do you think for DJ T's funeral, it's gonna be like, they're gonna, like, buy out the fireworks? Like, do you think, like, what do you think? It's gonna be, dude, it's gonna be crazy. Those fuckers, with how things will time out, it'll happen, they'll do it on Taylor Swift's wedding day. Just to piss me off. I could really see that's Barbenheimer in real life, guys. That would be real life Barbenheimer. Think about it. Anyways, his health is, and I just think, and my boyfriend will argue with me sometimes, and he'll be like, I don't know, like, there's sick old people who last a really long time, like, who knows? Like, I just feel it. I feel that it's coming, and, like, the other day, he called Gavin Newsom the president. Guys, late stage dementia. He called his political rival, who is likely gonna run for president in 2028. And, you know, if Trump is gonna do some bullshit where he wants to run a third term, then that's his political opponent for president. And he's calling his political opponent for president the president. he literally was like, and I was talking to President Gavin Newsom. And what the fuck? What the fuck are we talking about, dog? President Gavin Newsom. Like, I fucking hope not. I don't want to fucking vote for Gavin Newsom. Like, don't get me started on why I don't want to vote for Gavin Newsom. Like, if I have no other choice, like, I'll do it. But, like, fucking don't make me. It's like doing my laundry. I don't want to do my laundry, but, like, if I have to do my laundry, like, I have to do it. So, fuck, I just gotta go to the laundromat. Because it's what I have to do to keep my life running, is to have clean clothes. And that's what it feels like. That's what it would feel like for Gavin Newsom to become president. Like, but way more dire. It's like, I know I have to pay my rent. More so. Like, yeah, that's what it is. But also that gnarly rash on his neck, like, guys, like, that's not, like, we're normal washing everything that's happening. Because everything's so horrific, and, like, all of our danger sensors in our brain are so overstimulated that we see new horrific things. Like, we're so overstimulated from horror that we're just, like, okay. Like, horror movies, like, used to scare the fuck out of me as a kid. Like, horror movies now, I can kind of sit there straight face, like, though they don't do anything for me anymore. And it's just like, we are sane watching everything that's going on politically because we're sensory overloaded. So it can't even be, nothing can really be shocking anymore. It's really hard to get, you can get outraged, and trust that I do, but you have to, like, it's almost like the outrage is so constant that it's just like, it's levels. And then you have moments where you're like, right, and when you verbalize it, and you're like, oh, I feel a little crazy, we're going crazy, we're crazy time. And that's how it feels to engage with politics nowadays, but that's all to say, I think we are completely sane washing, like, how bad his health is. Like, guys, like, if this was Joe Biden, and Joe Biden was calling someone who wasn't the President of the United States, Fox News would be tearing him to shreds about he has dementia. But then, do we even see CNN say fucking diddly nearly anything about him doing that? Like, one little, like, oh, his health must not be very good, but we gotta pretend like he's gonna be alive for the next decade. Like, no! Like, his health is, guys, it's bad. And I want to talk about this from, like, a spiritual perspective, okay? So, like, from a spiritual perspective, he's probably one of the most he's one of the most observed people on the globe right now. And when you have that many people paying attention to you, like, all of us have energy. It's like over 1 billion hands touching your energetic field, because they're thinking about you all day long, and negatively. So it's just negative energy being hurled at him over and over and over and over again, right? Like, psychically, the negative energy, the energy daggers that humans have been sending at him, the earth has been sending at him, like, energetically, like, the negative energy, all the energy that you have when you get outraged at it has to go somewhere. Like, I always release it, I'm like, let's return to sender, and all that energy is that negative energy. Like, think about what that would do to somebody's health. Like, that feeling that you have when, like, you do something embarrassing, and then you have secondhand embarrassment for days, just thinking about, like, those people might think about that, like, well, what if they ever think about that again? And you're just, like, the thought of them ever thinking about it again, which they're not going to. It's just, like, when you do, like, a weird social cue thing, and then you're like, that was awkward. like, okay, the other day, we were hanging out with my boyfriend's best friend, and then meeting his girlfriend, and then we were all drinking, and my boyfriend went to the bathroom, and then I was drunk, and I was just, like, rambling. I made some joke about, like, a family situation that, like, I forget is, like, super fucked up, so then when people hear it, they're like, oh, like, I'm so sorry about that. And then, like, I was like, no, like, that was a joke, sorry, that was meant to be funny. And then I just couldn't really dig myself out of my hole from there until my boyfriend came back, and I was like, okay, let's move on. And I totally got us to that place, and I was drunk, and the secondhand embarrassment I got from that, I was like, oh, God. Like, fuck. Like, I hate being that guy. Like, fuck, I totally blundered that. Socially awkward. And they were super cool about it. And I'm like, and I was like, oh God, like, what if they think about that again? And I'm like, okay, like, they're really not going to think critically on that. They're going to be like, that was fucking weird. And then maybe it pops up in their head another time when, like, just, like, randomly, and then they have, like, maybe they're like, oh, that was awkward, and then they move on. Like, they're not, that's at max what's happening. And I was like, oh, God, like, that was so embarrassing. And that was just from, like, the hypothetical of maybe they'll think, they'll have a brief thought about how that was weird, and that made me, like, cringe, okay? Right? That's, like, what I'm talking about, psychic energy, tugging, pulling, right? And so, imagine being, like, the most hated man in the world. Like, it, like, be, like, the voices, the fucking voices. Like, I really feel like he walks around the White House with, like, the Green Goblin mask, like, apparition of, like, his father speaking to him. Like, certainly, that's, like, he's fucking losing his mind, like, Daemon in season 2 of of House of the Dragon, if y'all know what I'm talking about. He's in a never-ending vision sequence, and, like, going in and out of lucidity. Like, losing, like, literally, I think I'm gonna die in this house. Like, but it's the White House. Like, I want you, and if you imagine that's his reality, it makes you feel a little better. It really makes me feel better. That's for sure. So, like, the ghosts of the presidents are haunting him and are like, we're taking you to hell with us, Donnie! And he's like, no! And then he gets on whatever news source, and he's like, I don't think I'm getting into heaven. That's why. That's what's happening. That's facts. That's what's happening. But anyway, just, like, spiritually looking at it, the amount of psychic energy being thrown at him, it's gonna become too much, and the more and more this thing builds, the bigger the crash is gonna be. And bro's heart's gonna go out. Like, literally, because he also eats, like, bullshit in his bed and shits his pants. Like, guys, that's like, not that I care, really. Like, I guess for other situations, like, bad, obviously. But, like, what they're doing with Trump, like, that's elder abuse. Like, just dead ass. Like, and, like, I don't give a fuck about his state of well-being, like, by any fucking means. Like, I'm literally, like, you know? But, like, obviously, I'm saying I'm joking about this with him, but, like, in general, elder abuse, bad. Like, and I hate that I have to do these fucking not caveats, I have to do these, like, and obviously I think this because I hate how dumb audiences are, and whatever. Moving on, not gonna get into that. The point is, his health fucking sucks, okay? And so just be more hopeful about that. Just don't be afraid to let the thought of him croaking over cause you a little joy and whimsy. Like, come on. Have a little joy and whimsy in your heart at the thought of it. Think about, like, yes, there'll be a lot of challenges after that. It's not going to fix everything because it's a culture problem. It's not a single person problem. When he kneels out, falls flat, it's like, that doesn't change that this is the culture of our country and there's lots of work to do. But it'll be really awesome. Regardless. It'll be really exciting. So, let it spark a little whimsy for you. I'm sure my podcast, I feel like everything I'm saying, I'm like, yeah, like, this is like a cash thought I'm having. And I'm thinking about, I'm like, surely this is gonna get me in trouble in some capacity someday. We'll see. But that's just me, like, I'm not gonna not say just what fucking everyone with a fucking sense of moral clarity and sanity is thinking. Like, I'm gonna say what I'm gonna say. That's what I think. Like, girl, whatever. On that note of it being a cultural problem, I'm once again recommending to you Howard Zinn's A People's History of the United States. It's a brick. I know it's a brick. I would challenge you, just get through the first 3 chapters. You know? If you can get through the first 3 chapters and really understand chapters 1 through 3 and really, like, literally, like, take a week with each chapter 1 through 3. Like, take a week and just really sit with it. It will really help you understand culturally what's happening in this country. And the most important thing, which I highlighted it at the end of chapter 3 to talk about it, Maybe it's not the end of chapter 3. It's the end of chapter 2. So, at the end of chapter 2, they are discussing basically what the elites at the time in, like, the 1700s were fearful of. And I'll read this bit to you. No, maybe I'm at the wrong part. I thought I marked this correctly. But perhaps I did not. This book is dense. See, I didn't mark my things right. I was going to talk about it, I didn't mark it right. Gosh. Okay. I didn't mark it correctly. Or I did, and I have bad eyesight, and I can't find it. And I'm a little dyslexic, so I'm not good at skimming reading. So that was a moment of honesty of my dyslexia. Where I just struggled there. It's fine. Maybe we can cut. The point is, chapters 1 through 3 really helps you understand that the United States of America has always had, the foundation of this country is built upon racism, and you need to really deeply, truly understand how deep that goes for the understanding of how entrenched we still are in this culture that it was built upon. Like, the foundation of this country is racism to the most severe degree, and, like, you have to understand how baked that is into, like, the religion of our country. Like, the mythology of our country. And that has to be fully understood. And then you have to also understand that since the foundation of settlers on this continent, the elites have always had fear of one thing, and this is why they have done everything that they have done to divide different groups. Because their biggest fear is if poor white people realize that they can align themselves with people of color, then, and all the different marginalized groups, if people of color, women, if women, people of color, queer people, poor white people, if all of them realized they could work together, then they'd be fucked. And their goal since the beginning of the foundation of monetization on this continent has always been to divide different groups of subjugated people. And that has to be understood so that message can be reiterated, so that, like, we can form bonds with other groups. And I think the hardest one to get on board to this shit, and I think we're already largely there, of, like, communities supporting other communities, marginalized communities supporting other communities, like, that homogenization, I think since Woke 1 has the beginning of that has been to a varying degree successful, to a degree. It certainly needs more work, and once again the problem is the white girly pops and the white gays in this group, which I have a whole section I'm going to talk about white gays and, like, liberal women, air quotes, who are really moderates. I think the homogenization of marginalized groups, while it has improved, it has a vast way to go, and the hardest it's going to be to get to join us, this homogenized movement, is the poor whites. And hopefully, what I'm hoping is this political fuckery shakes up a good amount of them and at least gets some of them to break off from the cult and deconstruct. And so then hopefully that continues to trickle in, like, once the cracks are made, it'll keep breaking and breaking and breaking it up. That's the goal. But the point is, I'm again recommending that book, A People's History of the United States by Howard Zinn, because it's just so important into understanding that we are divided as a culture for the purpose of keeping us disempowered. And I just think going forward, we don't have the luxury of not fully understanding these things. We have to educate ourselves, and this goes into my next point of white gays and liberal girls. Because I've had an incident recently where I was really like, especially like older white gay men, like they might as well be Republicans. Like, it's really like, and I think we have to do a better job as white people. I mean, this is in general calling out racism, but like, white gays really get away with a lot of racism because they think because they're gay and that they experience marginalization in that way that they can't be racist, and they really sure fucking can be. To like an insane degree. And we have to hold them just as accountable as you hold your truck driver uncle. Okay? Like, the same level of accountability has to be held for them. It can't be like, oh, because then I feel like a lot in my communities, I see them get a pass. Or just, like, not gone in on as hard as they should be, because you're like, oh, well, they're gay, so they're allied with us. It's like, I don't care what you identify as soon as you're fucking racist in front of me, I'm calling you a racist piece of shit with low critical thinking skills, because you have to be fucking stupid and live in a fear-based mindset to actually believe and apply racism to how you interact with people. You have to not be very smart. Like, the dumbest people are racist. Like, racism is always rooted in of white people's fear of just, like, the unknown, not understanding another group's culture, and unwillingness to engage with something that isn't whiteness. And if you are not willing to educate yourself on why these things are being said or in denial of it, I'm sorry, you're not very smart. You're not very smart. You're a low IQ individual. Like, I'm really bringing out, like, like, I really like to think of myself as, like, I'm combating red pill, like, propaganda. I'm a pink pill propagandist, okay? Like, oh wait, no, I think that's a bad term. I just learned something about, like, pink pilling is, like, a bad term. So I think that's already taken, that can't be me. But, like, okay, I fight for the girly popification of society, okay? That's, like, I like to think of myself as, like, what if Twilight Sparkle was a real human girl and she was living through the humanitarian crises that we were living through right now? I think of Twilight Sparkle like Jesus Christ, okay? I got this bitch right here, okay? This is real, this is me, I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be now, gonna let the light shine on me. I don't know, I Camp Rock there for a little bit. Just Camp Rock for a minute. Damn, Twilight's hair kind of a mess. Ooh, she looking a fool. Sorry, Twi. Guys! I just had the craziest idea. Like, what if I gave myself Twilight Sparkle's hair? Like, guys, what do we think about that? Like, no, because, like, edgy Twilight Sparkle hair? Like, I don't know, what do we think about that, guys? Like, shit. Guys, that was a crazy idea. Anyways, I see Twilight Sparkle as Jesus Christ. I mean, Jesus Christ would be an alicorn, definitely. Like, I've been really getting into understanding and deconstructing, like, Judeo-Christian mythology and, like, and how it was originated and, like, the real history surrounding that. And I have really been enjoying that. I am not in a place of articulation with it. I'll get there. But, so expect that in the future. But I really see myself in Twilight Sparkle, and I think if Twilight Sparkle was a real human girl, she'd be just like me for real. But I'm almost like Twilight Sparkle and Rarity. They're not, I don't ship them. But I'm kind of glamorous like Rarity, but everything else about me, and like ambitious like Rarity, and I live in Manhattan. No, not really. I live in Brooklyn. But, yeah, what was I talking about? Twilight probably wouldn't be as mean as me. However, she should be. She should be, so if you're mad at me, this is really who you're mad at. Like, you're mad at her. Okay? So, take that up between you and God. My point is, white gays think that they can get away with a lot, and we're not as hard as them as we should be. And then also, I'm really sick of moderate girls who refuse to do the work and then want to be in the in crowd of, like, liberals, because it's like they want to be friends with liberals, but they don't want to be the work to actually understand and have progressive values. They want to stay moderates. And, like, when it comes time to speak up about racism or something like that, there's a whole lot of silence from them that I'm really sick of. Like, I mean, if you're being a performative liberal, like, it's better than just being blatantly a conservative, I suppose, but it just kind of means you're sneakier about it. Like, and I also think a lot of these people are well-intended, but they just, like, again, they also have a fear of deconstruction, because it tends, I find, to come from, like, liberal women, air quotes, who are really moderates. They tend to be really, like, I'm not girlies, if you're one of those girlies, I'm holding your hand while I'm saying this, okay? They tend to be really a lot more insecure, and and it is because they haven't deconstructed their internalized misogyny fully, and they'll be like, oh, I'm a feminist, but then they still will have some very misogynistic hot takes, and then they won't understand why it's misogynistic, and they let their misogyny very much run them, but it's, like, weird, because these girls have cognitive dissonance, because I've watched some of these girls be able to fully talk about, like, hating men and stuff like that. They understand hating men, but they don't understand, now that they realize that they are disgusted by men, that they need to deconstruct everything men have said to them about, and the negative opinions they have about themselves, and understand how men impacted those things, and, like, deconstruct it. And also, and it largely, again, has to do with, like, they understand a bit of feminism. But just because, it's the same thing with the white gays, just because you understand feminism a little bit, it doesn't mean that you're not racist now. You have to deconstruct racism differently than how you deconstruct misogyny. Like, hey, I hate to break it to you, those are separate concepts, and the way you poorly broke down misogyny, which you need to go further on that. Go further on that, please! Please go further on that. The way you deconstructed misogyny, start doing that with racism. But I'm just saying, these bitches want to be in the in crowd with the liberal girlies. Which, it's like, glad you're here at least, and you're not hanging out with conservatives. But it's like, okay, if you're going to be in these spaces, you need to... The reason we found community is because we've educated ourselves. So if you want to be in this community with us, you gotta meet us where we're at, so that we can have a real relationship. That's how I feel about the liberal moderate girlies. The moderately liberal girls. That's how I feel about that, and I'm fucking sick of the horrible behavior. You know me, I don't give a fuck, and I'm gonna stay on one, and I'd love to see what y'all gonna do about it. Fucking nothing. That's what I fucking thought. Anyways. Something that happened recently that I've been seeing go, I'm gonna talk briefly on this, is, and this all wraps up into the same sort of, a similar sort of thing, the whole Chappel Roan's security guard yelling at some guy, I don't know, some soccer player, I don't care, her security guard yelling at the daughter and making the daughter cry. All of a sudden, y'all really going to bat for children because a little 11-year-old girl cried. I'd love to see you go for bat for dead children in the Middle East like that. The way you're fucking going, I wish y'all would go after the, fucking Israeli government the way you fucking go after Chappel Roan for treatment of children. Y'all fucking piss me off. The whole internet wants to be like, oh, Chappel Roan made an 11-year-old girl cry! It's the worst thing that's ever happened! Listen, money to Israel, though. Let's bomb some schools. Y'all are fucking crazy. Y'all make me want to lose my goddamn mind. The hypocrisy is fucking stunning. Stunning. We're gonna bitch about Chappel Roan. Chappel Roan didn't even make the little girl fucking cry. It was her security who isn't her private security. It was like hotel security. Oh my god. And again, all of you want to get on Chappel Roan because she's a woman, number one, and she's a queer woman. And you know you can't control her. And you're trying to do a display of dominance over Chappel Roan. And fucking, if a male performer, like, if Justin Bieber made a little girl cry, nobody would give a fuck. They'd be like, Justin Bieber's acting crazy again. Fuck y'all. Shut the fuck up. I love Chappel Roan, not even for, I mean, her music is great, but I love Chappel Roan's personality. Like, that's why I fuck with Chappel Roan. It's because of who she is as a person. Like, I know Chappel Roan's real as hell. I think, this isn't my critique. I just think she is not as articulate as she could be, because I think she is very emboldened by her emotions. I think she runs very emotionally hot, but I have an admiration for that, and I love seeing her piss people off. So when I'm famous someday, and you want to know my opinion about Chappel Roan, because for some reason people need to come out and make statements about how they feel about Chappel Roan if they're still going to listen to her. What the fuck are we talking about? Why are we having that conversation right now? Oh my god. Y'all, they piss me off. What are we talking about? So when you need my public statement as a person who speaks on the internet, I stand with Chappel Roan every step of the way. Like, I wouldn't care if she had slapped that little girl across the face. Like, okay, maybe I would have. I'd be pretty fucked up. It's a pretty funny image. But, y'all get on Chappel Roan for the dumbest shit, and it's because she's a lesbian woman. And that gets into my next point about, again, I'm just fed up with men. I'm 1 billion thing down on hating men. Okay, guys? 1 billion thing down on hating men into this next section that I'm going into, okay? So, men are intimidated by Chappel Roan because they can't control her. She's a beautiful woman who's well put together, who is successful, who wants nothing from them. And if they can't feel, if they feel like she's a lesbian and they never have a shot with her, she's a beautiful woman who thinks little of them, like, the only thing they can do is try to disempower her. Because she wants nothing from them. She needs nothing from them. And this goes into the next point I'm going into, because I'm fucking fed up with so many of the men in my life. So many of, men in general, like, of 1 billion thing down on fucking hate men. And I'm fucking sick of this shit, because I feel as the extinction burst of the MAGA movement is happening, which, it's a hydra, it's gonna turn into something else, certainly, but as this extinction burst of this iteration of the MAGA movement's happening, men are getting worse rapidly, and it's fucking exhausting, and I'm fucking sick of it, and they're total pussies, because, like, I have a very MAGA-coded person in my life who I cut off years ago, who wants to talk all this crazy shit behind my back. A grown man, also, I'll note, and here's the thing, I don't care about nothing getting back when I speak poorly on this person. When I speak poorly on this loser baby man, I do not care. Like, I'm saying it on video, and I'm pushing publish, okay? Anything I say, I do not care if it fucking gets back to this person. But I'm also not going to have a conversation with this person, because this person is someone brought up to me by my family a lot, and they're like, you know, we're starting up conversations about it, it's not that I won't bring it up either, because sometimes I'll be like, this bullshit happened, like, I'm not going to sit here and act like I don't sometimes dish the dirt, but everything I say to them, like, I would have no problem saying to their face, just, like, for the sake of my family, I don't. And I think the things, I do a lot of just, like, personality hot takes on this person, and they love to accuse me of some pretty crazy shit. Like, this is the difference. When I'm talking shit behind this person's back, I'm like, I think you're a pussy and a coward, because you won't say anything to my face. And the difference is, like, I don't need to say what I'm saying to their face, because I'm just mocking you to get a little vent out. They're making some crazy claims about me, that I'm trying to radicalize the youth, apparently. I'm an evil lib who's going out of my way to evil and radicalize the youth. I guess I am. Maybe they clocked me. But, just making, that was a generalization of the claims of what, you know, they really be claiming that I'm scheming and evil. What they be saying to people. And it's just like, if you got such crazy conspiracy theories about what I'm up to, why don't you say it to my face? Right, you won't, because you know you're in the wrong. So it's like also these people who completely know they're in the wrong with the situation that they're in. They're completely in the wrong, and But here's the thing, too, about people like this. Like, people who blatantly do something wrong, just like narcissistic people who blatantly do something wrong and then fully can't acknowledge it and stay in the delusion that they're completely right. Number one, you don't need a relationship with those people. And number two, I used to be like, wow, they're so manipulative, like, they're always lying and stuff like that. And I think I came to the conclusion recently that, like, these people don't think they're lying. Like, their emotions, like, if you are conservative, you are, like, being, like, we're being rage baited by, like, reality. They're being rage baited by, like, fake shit. Like, Mexicans are trying to take your jobs, and, you know, you gotta be scared of black people, and there's gonna be a trans man in the bathroom with your daughter, a trans woman in the bathroom with your daughter, like, they're being rage baited from those ends all the time. Like, common sanity rage baits them, so they're constantly being rage baited by, like, reality. And so their emotions are up and down and up and down. And they have no emotional regulation skills. Fucking none. They have the ability to emotionally regulate that's the same state of, like, a 5th grader. They, like, couldn't. I was saying to my boyfriend when we were talking about this situation, I was like, the person who was talking shit about me, I was like, and this is a man and a woman in this situation. So, like, I was like, she could not write a 6th grader's essay. She would, like, if I gave her a 6th grade essay over a very basic topic, I would have to, like, the paper she'd give me back 100%, like, it's getting a D-. No critical thinking with these fucking people. No fucking critical thinking. So, one, they can't critically think, and two, their emotions up and down, roller coaster. You know, they're arguing amongst themselves. They're elevated all the time. They don't know that they're lying. They have no sense of reality. They don't live in reality. Because I was like, how do these people just lie all the time? They don't lie. Somehow, trust this is their fucking truth. When they're like, this is my truth. Fuck, I guess it is. That's fucking crazy that you live like that. Like, you make me feel like I'm taking crazy pills listening to you. Holy shit. And I think that's why a lot of liberal people, like, we don't have influencers like me, which we really need in society. We don't have anyone doing the girly popification, my girly popification program. Oh my gosh. Key terming that. My goal is the girly popification program of the United States. I'm gonna girly pop the United States. I'm running on that notion, okay? What year can I run for president? When will I be 35? Give me a second. Me when I got out my calculator to do this very, very basic math. Obviously 2038. I just had to add 3 to 35. Me when I'm fucking stupid. That was embarrassing. Anyways. Me when I'm like, I'm so smart. I can't switch between math brain and English brain. Like, I can't do it. Anyways, maybe we should cut that. That was embarrassing. Anyways, Brinly for president, 2038. Brinly for president, 2038. Okay? And I'm running on the girly popification of America. Okay? The girly popification program of America. That's my goal. What was I saying, dog? Anyways, these people are not grounded in reality. Oh, I feel like we don't have, my goal of my channel and my influencing online is my goal, okay, this is my mission statement. My goal is the girly popification program, but it is, I come about this, like, I make my content very much for the sake of rage bait, because I want to spark conversations, and I want it, when you spark conversations, you spark deconstruction. Okay? I am trying to rage bait, and it's working. Like, if you look, I have a little treat for you guys. If you go look at my comment section, I have definitely been fucking with people in the comment section, because it's funny. Like, and everything I'm doing in the comment section, like, with these people, like, I'm doing it for the bit. And, because it makes me laugh. Okay? That's why I'm doing it. And once I'm a little bit bigger of a channel, I'm not going to do that as much. Because it'll just be too much. I'll be getting too much hate comments. But the hate comments are coming in, which are making me feel really good. Like, if you're pissing off a man, you are doing something correct. But my point is, there's like an actual term for this, but the way I am helping the political agenda is I'm just a professional rage baiter. Like, I am here to rage bait, but I'm here to rage bait the opposition so that they'll talk about it, so then people will argue about it online spaces, and then that rage bait will turn into education, because I'm talking about this certain topic, I'm embracing these things, it's gonna piss off conservatives, and then it sparks a conversation for liberal people, hopefully, to, I think, like, not to put myself on such a pedestal, but I like, not that I'm putting myself on a pedestal, it's just that, like, I really believe in the power of education, and so much of my message is, you need to fucking educate yourself, like, and this is, so hopefully I want that to just get, that message to get out to people, like, people just don't fucking take it seriously, that they need to be educated on these things, and I have the a gift that I have is the ability to sit and really understand human psychology, sociology, and then history. Like, all three of those things fascinate me. I hopefully can learn so much that then I'm not gonna be able to articulate what I've learned. Like, I'm not a fucking professor, but, like, hopefully I articulate it enough for it to interest other people, and then them go research these things that I think are extremely important in the progression of American society. Okay? My mission statement, there it is. But yeah, so, what am I saying, dog? Where'd I go? What was my point? I got off the tracks, and I'm on new ones. We switched tracks, and I didn't realize. My point is, if you're making men mad, you're doing something right. I'm going to continue pissing men off. I'm going to continue encouraging you guys to educate yourselves. I am going to continue reminding you to be as hyper-feminine as possible, because being hyper-feminine is a form of protest, okay? And I will protest every goddamn day of my life that I live in a society that is so irrevocably broken. And every day I will help try to dismantle that society and then hopefully someday build a new one. That's my goddamn mission statement. I think I'm going to end on that note because I have a lot of shit to do today. I am kind of busy. So that was the yap. Motivation for the week is, like it has been, like, things are really scary right now. Things are really, really scary, and, like, money's insane. Like, it's really immeasurable. Like, we're going through a complete societal, like, paradigm shift of, like, the way the culture thinks about the culture it lives in. You know, we're having a huge moment in culture that, like, the history books are going to speak on this time period forever. Like, the way we talk about World War II is how we're going to talk about now. Like, that's a massive, massive change. So, like, and we've been living through this phase of existence for, like, over a decade now. So, like, remind yourself, like, you've gotten through it, and there were times during the first Trump administration, before the second one, and now during the second one, where you thought, I can't do this, like, I'm gonna lose my mind. And you persisted. You persisted then. You're gonna persist now. You're going to remember how strong you've been and know that it's fucking sucks that we have to continue being strong, but we're gonna continue doing it. And let it motivate yourself that, like, you are, I assume if you listened all the way through this, you're a morally correct person, or you are trying to be the best version of yourself. So know that, like, you are an inherently beautiful soul who, in one of the darkest realities that we could live in, you are still choosing to be a good person. And if, like, you can't find motivation in that, like, dog, like, I don't know, like, just really think on that. Like, really think on, like, you are choosing to want to, you are not just succumbing to the evilness and agreeing with it and submitting to it because that's the easier thing to do, because that is the easier thing to do. It's harder to resist. Think about how you are resisting it, and I know it's so hard. Like, think about everything you've lost. Like, I've lost so many friends, I've lost family members, I've, you know, like, and that's just, like, for me as, like, a little white girl, so other people have gone through so much more, you know, and it's just, like, think about everything you've grown beyond, and be grateful that despite how hard that was, like, that you chose that path, and that you can, like, live with a peaceful conscience. Like, I say this to people all the time, like, because I get into a lot of shit. I get into a lot of drama. Like, I swear I don't love the drama, it loves me. Like, it's like, I'm gonna do a lot of drama, but it's because I don't put up with people's shit, and I'm always gonna call out somebody who's morally, like, duplicitous. Like, I'm always, I don't think I'm using morally duplicitous correctly. Morally rot. Like, I don't know. You know what I'm fucking trying to say. I sleep very peacefully at night, even though I get into a lot of drama, because I'm always calling people out on their bullshit fucking behavior. I sleep very comfortably at night. I don't go to bed with shit weighing on my mind, because I know that I always stood on business. And I sleep like a fucking baby. Okay? Nothing I've ever done, and anything that I've ever done that has kept me up at night, I have rectified. Okay? In my youth. Everything that has ever kept me up at night I have rectified. Okay? And now, I live my life in a way where I don't do shit that keeps me up at night. Nothing keeps me up at night. Other than when I'm reading fan fiction on my phone. Period. That's the end of the Yapathon. Love you so much, guys. Next week, I am going on vacation, so the episode's gonna be pre-recorded. So if World War III starts and I don't mention it, I have pre-recorded the episode. So let's hope that doesn't happen. Everyone tell Brinly, have a good time at the Grand Canyon. And, that's the update. Anyways, love you guys, and we'll talk next week. Bye!